How do Newton's laws describe the interactions between objects?
The gravitational force is the force with which the Earth, Moon, or other massive body attract an object toward itself. The normal force is the support force exerted upon an object that is in contact with other stable object. For example, a bottle of water is at rest on a table. So here is gravitational force which always straight downward. And here is the normal force which always perpendicular to the surface. Resistance is a special type of frictional force that acts upon object as they travel through the air. For example, a skydiver is falling down with a constant speed. We can see that the air resistance is upward, and the gravitational force is downward. Tension force is a force that is transmitted through a spring, rope, or wire when it's pulled tight by force acting at each end. For example, an orange is suspended from the ceiling. We can see that the tension force is upward and the gravitational force is downward. The spring force is exerted by a spring or elastic material when it's pushed or pulled. For example, an apple hangs from ceiling by a spring. We can see that here is the spring force, which is upward, and here is gravitational force, which is downward. The friction force is force exerted by a surface as an object moves across it or makes an effort to move across it. For instance, a box is moving across the table. We can see that the friction force is opposite to the motion of the box. And here is the gravitational force. Also, here is the normal force. An applied force is a force that is applied to an object by another object or by a person. For example, a glass of water on a table pushed by a hand. We can see that applied force is rightward and the friction force is leftward. Also, here is gravitational force, and here is the normal force. A quantitative measure of inertia is mass. The unit of the mass is in kilograms. Mass will not change with location. For example, a ball in the Earth has a mass of 5 kilograms, and it will have the same mass, which is 5 kilograms in the Saturn. The weight of a body is the gravitational force with which the Earth attracts the body. The weight will change with the location. For example, a ball has the weight of 30 newtons on the Earth, but it will have a different weight on the Saturn, because the little g, which is the acceleration due to gravity, is changed.
Newton's first law of motion is often stated as an object at rest tends to stay at rest, and an object is a motion tends to stay in a motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless attacked upon by a balanced force. A book is resting on a table, so this is free body diagram. This is Fn. This is Fg. Because a book is resting on a table, so net force is equals Fn minus Fg equals 0. If the gravitational force of the book is the 14.5 newtons, what is the normal force? Because of net force equals Fn minus Fg equals 0, so Fn equals Fg equals 45 Newton. Newton's second law states that for the particular force, the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force and inversely proportional to the mass of an object. The direction of the force is the same as that acceleration. In equation form, net force equals ma. Applied force of the 20 Newton, a 9 kg work along the stay work, which has the 2 Newton friction force. Because of applied force of the 20 Newton and the friction force is the 2 Newton, so the vehicle is the accelerating. So this is the Fn. This is the Fg. Because the vehicle is the speed up, so this is the Ff. So the net force equation is the net force equals Fa minus Ff equals ma. To find the acceleration of the wagon, Fa equals 20 m. Ff equals 2 Newton. M equals 9 kg. Net force equals Fa minus Ff equals ma. A equals Fa minus Ff divide m. A equals 20 minus 2 divide 9 equals 2 meter per second square. The third law of motion applies to two different forces on two different objects. The action force on object exerts on the other and the equal but opposite reaction force the second object exerts on the first. Here is an example. We can see like the turtle stands on the table. The action is the turtle pushes down the table, and the reaction is the table pushes up the turtle.
Another example of Newton's third law. We can see that the man is holding a bag. The action is hand pushes up the bag, and the reaction is bag pushes down hand.